Welcome to the info session for the Future Career Exploration Program. We're housed at the Clinical and Translational Science Center on the UC Davis Health Campus. I'm Rachel Reeves, the Associate Director of the Future Program. Before I get into the format of the program, I think it's important to lay out some of our values and context. We were originally funded by the National Institutes of Health to address a gap in PhD and postdoc training, and that mandate has influenced the way we built the program. First, let's talk about value. We believe that the world right now needs more of the skill sets you've been developing in your training: data analysis, critical thinking, independence, project management, a capacity for evidence-based decision-making, as well as your particular subject expertise. And we're not alone. In the past decade, governments, including the US, have called for more PhDs, specifically more than the academic job market requires, for your potential contributions to innovation, research, and economic development. And career outcomes bear out that value. As of 2012, 80% of PhD-trained scientists held positions outside of the tenure-track faculty, a number we don't see falling. And yet, tenure-track faculty continues to be the default assumed career outcome of PhD and postdoc training. This mismatch between the powerful socialization towards tenure-track faculty positions and the actual breadth of career outcomes has created a crisis of confidence among scientists entering the job market, who feel they're not properly prepared for the career transition they're facing, or even know their options. Again, this isn't a world that needs fewer or less confident scientists. So we've built a program to address the gap. We started from 3 principles: that researchers should have space to develop their career plans, and that this space should be both free of outside value judgments about particular paths and streamlined to fit within your research process. That exploration, alongside different disciplines concerned with human health, would broaden the career prospects that our participants are exposed to, while also staying grounded in the values and experiences that we have in common. That career exploration, as well as research training, is an embodied experience, and that the way your identities and backgrounds shape your career should be part of our conversation. With these principles in mind, we developed an intervention that addressed the specific gaps that we and the NIH saw in the research training experience. Here's what our program provides. First, the basic tools to succeed in career exploration: writing a top-of-the-stack resume, interviewing, negotiating a job offer. Second, space to understand and explore your skills, values, and interests in order to make empowered career decisions. In the environment of the lab, it can be very easy to subsume your interests under the goals of the lab. It can take time to rebuild an awareness of what you enjoy and you need. Third, a network. We know that a network is important for your career success, and yet many researchers aren't sure where to start or how to maintain helpful professional relationships. So we offer a seed network and the skills to use it. Last but not least, we know that career exploration can be isolating, particularly if you're considering something outside of the tenure track. The Future Program is a place to find a community of fellow travelers on your career journey. Here are the specific ways you'll encounter these components: skills, space, network, and community. You'll begin with our 10-week workshop series. This is the gateway to the program. It was built to be practical and streamlined. These online workshops are 90 minutes each, and there is no busy work. The things you will build and practice will be concretely useful to your job search. You'll walk out with a resume, a compelling LinkedIn profile, the ability to network and negotiate, as well as a clearer picture of your career goals. Within the workshop series, you'll be introduced to our partner network for informational interviews and career panels. This is the beating heart of our program. 130 plus PhD professionals in a variety of sectors and roles, all willing to share their journey and details about their jobs. If you complete the workshop series, you'll continue to have access to the partner network for as long as you're at UC Davis. For example, if 2 years after the workshop series, you discover that you want to explore medical science liaison work, we can make those connections. Another real strength of the program is the size and energy of our peer community. You'll work most intensively with your workshop cohort of 15 to 25. Other ways our community manifests itself is in peer support groups, for instance, for those on the job market right now, a quarterly newsletter to celebrate your professional steps forward, even those that might not be as legible to your departments, a weekly digest of relevant local opportunities, trainings, career panels, internships, jobs, many of which are sent to us through our partners and community members, and in some cases offer inside referrals. Finally, career exposures. You may have first encountered Future through our open campus workshops on state jobs for scientists, working with a visa, or career chats. Membership in the Future program gives you priority access to this programming. Other opportunities come through training programs offered by the Clinical and Translational Science Center, including exposure to clinical research. These 4 components cover what we see as the missing pieces in graduate and postdoc training: space, resources, and connections for career development. In these next few slides, we'll look a little closer at the Future community. Our partner network has really been shaped by the interests of our participants. If you don't see what you're looking for, talk to us and we'll find it. We have the most partners in our for-profit sector. This includes industry, consultancy, and startups. Our partners in the academic sector include people in teaching-intensive roles, research development, and science communication. Our government partners work at the state, federal, and local level and can speak to the value of popular science policy fellowships, such as AAAS and CCST. Our nonprofit partners include people in museum and outreach work, as well as nonprofit research institutes. The thing they all have in common is that they're excited to help you on your career journey. Our participant profile is representative of the robust variety of health-related research happening on the UC Davis campus. Cohort by cohort, PhDs and postdocs are fairly evenly represented, which means you'll have peers at your stage of training. Another advantage of that is that for many of our PhD students, one career move they're often considering is a postdoc, and our postdocs are generous with the information about their work. We're also coming from every school and college in the university. As you can see, we have very broad representation across disciplines. 6 colleges, 31 graduate groups, 62 departments. The common thread is that for each of our participants, we're able to argue for the relevance of their work to human health. And while not all of our partners work in health-related fields, and our participants aren't necessarily restricting themselves to health research goals, it's been helpful to have these values and research experiences in common as we consider where to take them. Speaking of where we take our skills, here's the first position our alumni take after leaving their research training at UC Davis. For many of our participants, maintaining direct involvement with research is a top priority. This appears in the prevalence of research scientist in both industry and academia. That said, there's a great variety of roles within academia too. And many of our alumni appreciate staying involved with the work of the university. Our fastest growing sector is government, which capitalizes on our connections with the many agencies and policy offices in Sacramento. Finally, I want to draw your attention to the presence of tenure-track faculty among our alumni. Many members of our community come to the Future program looking to create a Plan B, and we respect that approach. It certainly doesn't hurt an academic job search to have practice networking, interviewing, and negotiating. We believe the experience of the career transition is as important as the destination, and we ask our members about that experience. The most powerful measure of Future success is our members' recommendation. Last year, we had over 100 participants. the majority of whom joined at the recommendation of a colleague. After the 10-week workshop, members report a significant drop in feelings of isolation, a major factor in mental health. Beyond the workshop, we continue to provide support and connection through the weekly digest and the quarterly check-ins on your professional goals. Having seen the job market, 95% of our alumni say that the Future program has been a positive influence on their career, most frequently citing job search skills, networking skills, and support from the Future team as factors in the success of their transition. The final element of the Future community is the program team itself. We look forward to introducing ourselves in detail, but for now, I want you to just notice that we share the experience of making room for career exploration within the pressures of doctoral research. We will be in touch with you throughout the rest of your time at UC Davis until you've made the leap to your next career step. How to apply. Since we believe that this resource should be accessible to all researchers in training, remember the gap, I'll note that this is not a competitive program. If you qualify, we'd be happy to have you join us. The application was designed to take no more than 20 minutes. In it, you will take a sentence or two to explain how your research is related to human health and tell us what you hope to get out of the Future program. Please also note that we don't require a PI signature or letter. We believe that your training belongs ultimately to you and that your relationship with your PI is yours to negotiate. Application deadlines are 2 weeks out from the start of every quarter. The deadline for fall 2020 is Friday, September 18. We host the opening workshop all 3 quarters. All are remote for the time being. Each quarter, we offer a morning and afternoon section. Because each section is held contingent on having sufficient participants, we encourage you to invite lab mates and colleagues to go through the program with you. Our instructor, Daniel, says the worst way to do career exploration is alone in your own head, and the best way is with a supportive community. Thank you for your interest in the program. We hope you will reach out with questions and apply in the coming quarter.